Okay. Very good afternoon. Yes. How are you doing? All well? All well. Online, very good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, we'll start with our session. Online, if you have any doubts, you can drop a message in the comment section, both in the YouTube and the Zoom. So, our agenda for today is to give you an orientation into what we are going to do in the next 4.5 months to 5 months. Okay? I hope everyone has syllabus with you. All of you have syllabus. I'll discuss the syllabus. I'll also tell you what books to read. I'll also tell you what books you should not read. And are there any material that you are supposed to get or no? If suppose any notes that is given, what is the notes that I will give you and what are the notes that you are expected to make? So, there is a big list that we are going to discuss today one by one. So, before I discuss anything, if you have any doubts regarding geography optional, do let me know. Any issues, anything, a misconception, a conception, a learning, an unlearning that you wanted to make, anything regarding geography optional, you can let me know. I will be addressing all your questions. So, in my hand I have the syllabus, paper 1, paper 2, you also have online, you can also get it, our team will share it with you. Okay? Aditya, Danya, Nandini and others. So, first thing, there are few things, that is there anyone who is still confused about geography optional or yes or no? Anyone? Okay. So, I will spend some 5 to 10 minutes on that, why this optional is important. I won't drag much on this, we already had one session, one big session on why geography optional is important, but let me quickly tell you why geography optional is important. Or like that, if you look into, there are roughly around 28 subjects and 22, roughly 22 plus odd subjects in the language papers and 28 odd subjects in the sciences, arts background, commerce, accountancy and so. Out of that, one of the most famous optional subject is geography. Other than geography, there are other subjects also. Now, when you come to geography, the biggest advantage is that the syllabus looks bigger, but it is well defined. There is a fundamental difference between a lengthy syllabus and a defined syllabus. Now, what is the difference, lengthy syllabus and defined syllabus? In the defined syllabus, you will see things repeating again and again. Okay? In a lengthy syllabus, the extension is very high and an endless syllabus will be there. There is no end to the syllabus. You read everything and anything, it will be there. So, firstly, your misconceptions into why not geography optional. Look here, broadly you have, these are the list of optional subjects. You can categorize into social sciences, in the last class we have already dealt, engineering, medical, sciences background, commerce and accountancy and languages. So, languages roughly 23 odd subjects are there. This is taken by usually those students who have studied in their local language medium and then they did their graduation also in this medium. So, literature becomes easy for them, but provided if you are good at that literature, then you can pick up that subjects. So, other one is chartered accountants, CS will take here, right, commerce and accountancy, and any optional you pick up, one thing you remember, you need an understanding level of masters. Okay? Not at the level of graduation, you need the knowledge and also the applications at the level of masters, right. So, in the background of the sciences, agriculture is there, this is a lengthy syllabus, okay, an endless syllabus is there in agriculture. Likewise, botany, chemistry, anthropology, this is also recently little more famous optional subject. If someone who can mug up, okay, imbibe, for them this works, right. Next, our geography falls into this category. Look here, social sciences. Social sciences is basically here, theoretical aspects will be more, subjective aspects will be more, right, but it has an application with the science aspect. Remember this, it is little deep for you to understand this as on date, but let me tell you, in geography, this is one subject, it will not fit into social sciences also, it will not fit into sciences also, it is hanging somewhere. in between. Let's say you have geomorphology, climatology, oceanography and biogeography. It looks like science, it looks like logic, but when you go to population, industry, transportation, agriculture, it falls into humanistic aspects, it falls into these categories. But when it comes to geomorphology, climatology, oceanography and biogeography, it's pure science. You are studying about soil science, you are studying about atmospheric sciences, basically clouds, how they are formed, you are talking about the climate change and its impacts. So in totality, you are going to learn in detail about the sciences that are there and also the application of this, which you will do it in the paper 2. So broadly, I will not put geography here also, I will not put geography here also, I will put somewhere in between social sciences to science. So that means in simple aspects, let's say you are studying geomorph here, climate here, you are studying about the ocean science, you are also studying about the biogeography, right? Now applications of this, you are going to do this here, like how you are going to study about population, right? Why, let's say we talk about population. In this particular area, I'll take population and I'll study population in terms of geomorphologically, geographically. If I take Himalayas, the population is comparatively less. If I take the Ganga plains, the population density is very high. When I take the overall holistic population density with respect to land and the coast, the population density is more across the coast as compared to the interior, other than few cities. So that means you will study climate to that population, you will study geomorphology of that population, ocean and its impacts on the population, next biogeography on the population. That means this is a subject you are first supposed to learn this and apply this here. Now everyone open your syllabus, please have this clarity. Our majority of the time goes for learning into these sciences and later on application. See, the general problem in geography is that usually geomorphology, climatology, oceanography is spent for 2.5 to 3 months. And rest of the application is usually completed in 1.5 months. But this year I am not going to do that because there are trends and changes in the pattern of geography also. I will be giving an equal weightage for paper 2 and part B of human geography, because the weightage of the human geography is more as compared to the weightage of the physical geography, right? I want everyone to go through the syllabus in detail, right? So basically that's why I am not putting geography into sciences also, I am neither putting into social sciences. You learn the sciences and you apply it, clear, right? Even these you are expected to study for GS, right? And what is that additionally that you are going to learn in the optional? Little more depth we have to go. For GS and all, you will study about geomorphology, continental drift theory, plate tectonics theory, right? These are the basic theories, sea floor spreading theory. But in optional, we will also go and learn about the isostasy. We learn about the development of the slope, the journey of a river. Okay? River, while it is traveling from all the way from its origin to the ocean, what are the stages which it goes through and what are the landforms it will create, right? And what is river rejuvenation? So these are little in-depth concepts which are given by few geographers. We will study about Penck, Elsie King and Davis. These are the three famous persons who you are supposed to know when you are studying this geomorphology. These are the only additional components you will study other than your GS, right? When it comes to climatology, two more theories you are going to study. Biogeography, more or less everything is same what you study for GS, and one classification additional you are going to study for optional. Environmental geography, it is the most and the highest neglected area. We will be spending good time there, right? In your prelims also, when you understand the background of the environment, things will become easy for you, right? So I hope you understood what I am trying to tell. Now look here, you choose any subject from this, okay? In UPSC it will have application here. Now in this geography as a subject, when you pick up, it will have advantage in your GS1 also, GS2 also, GS3 also, essay also, okay? Why am I telling GS2? See, basically you go to GS1. In the GS1, just a minute. How many marks are there in paper 1 from geography? Out of 250, how much? Last time we have seen, right? Roughly around 110, 120, right? So 120 marks will be from geography. Now come to GS2, IR will be there, mapping, it will become easy for you, right? Come to GS3, how many marks in GS3 is from geography? It is applied geography, that is environment and agriculture, right? Disaster management, 3 components we are going to study here. How many marks? Roughly around 100 marks are there here. That means 120 plus 100 marks you are anyways preparing from the geography optional for mains, right? For prelims, if you take up geography, environment and mapping, roughly you will get 30 odd questions. Last year was the only exceptional year where you got 25 to 26 questions, but rest of the years, if you broadly take an average, 30 are the number of total questions you will be asked in the prelims. So it is an added advantage here. Plus one more thing, essays are there. In essays you have ample amount of knowledge. Apart from this, contemporary issues we have in geography. So weekly one day we will do current affairs for optional. I mean, let's say that for this week there is not much current affairs that are there. So Monday to Friday we will have regular classes. One week we will have test, and other week we will have, other Saturday we will have current affairs of those 15 days. Why? I believe in application part. Geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, anyone can teach you, you will understand even with my recorded sessions also, if someone who wants to complete in the earlier process. But every class will go live in the offline here itself, right? Because formation of clouds, it will never change, right? LC King, Davis and Penck methodologies, it will never change. They are all the same. If you want to run ahead of me, for that also I have provisions that I have set up, that I will tell you what we are going to do in this geography optional. Right, now everyone is clear, 120 plus 100. That means 220 marks you are already going to cover up for the GS. Apart from that, essays are there, essays you will easily cater to it, and when you go to interview you have a broad range of knowledge. Why am I telling broad range of knowledge? Purely because you just look into the names of the chapters that you have. Open your syllabus and please read out the names of the chapters that you have. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Climatology. Chapter 3, Oceanography. 4, Biogeography. 5, Environmental Geography. Now come to Human Geography, which is there in the paper 1 part B. In the paper 1 part B, first chapter is perspectives. See, this is a chapter which you are supposed to read little later. The problem here is much of the institutions, they teach you these chapters in the beginning days. What happens is, when you don't have a knowledge, how will you develop a perspective? Perspective is when you have a knowledge about something and you can apply that, and then you develop a perspective, right? If not, you would be beating around the bush or throwing arrows in the dark if you don't have a knowledge. So that's why you are expected to read this particular chapter in the end, and this will give you a very good insights. After you read the entire syllabus, you come here. So I would be picking up this particular chapter little later part, and I am honestly telling you, this is the most complicated chapter. Why is it complicated? Why? not because it is difficult, just because there are no books for it. In an organized and structured manner, there is no books. The only area where you are supposed to rely is on my notes. I will give you a structurized notes, and it's not that I am going to give you notes after the chapter is completed. I will be giving you notes even before our classes start. You will be receiving all of your notes. See, this is a kind of handout that you will be getting. Let's say the first one is geomorphology. See, for example, for each line of the syllabus that you will have, I will be giving, this is physical setting, let's say Indian geography. You will be getting the entire notes before I start the classes itself. For each chapter, each line of the syllabus. So that I want my students who are there and appearing to have an idea what I am going to teach. I want you to read first and come to the class. I know 50% of the content you will understand, 50% you won't understand. But after my class, you will be feeling really comfortable. That is for sure. And you can ask me, sir, is my notes enough? Yes. What are the notes that I am going to give you? For the static portions, it is enough. Static portions means geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, biogeography, environmental geography, 60% of the environmental geography. You need not read beyond this. All you are going to do is apply the current affairs into this, right? So this notes is made after so much of thought process is given into it. Let's say any chapter, let us take geomorphology. Look here, this is your geomorphology notes. You open the syllabus and look into the syllabus. As per the syllabus, you will have this notes, right? First thing, look here, origin and evolution of the earth. This is not mentioned in your geomorphology chapters, but this is something which we will be learning from the beginning itself. It is nothing but the Big Bang theory. There are 6 theories. Till date, in the last 20 years, I haven't seen a single question coming from this area, but will not leave this. The one area where you can expect is Big Bang theory questions can come, but the chances are very, very less where the questions can be asked, right? After that, if you look into the syllabus line, each and every theory will be explained here. Then we'll first learn, irrespective of our start of the syllabus, we'll be learning about a time scale. This time scale is important, right? It's like in history, you know about the ancient Indus Valley civilization, you know, when the early Vedic, later Vedic, then comes your Mauryans, right? Guptas, like that you have a timeline. Even for our geography, we have a timeline. Our timeline starts from the origin of the Big Bang theory. And if you remember this timeline, which I will be explaining you in a very, very detailed manner, and will be mugging up in this class, you are supposed to apply this in the answers, wherever possible, right? Wherever possible. Let's say dinosaurs, you might have heard about dinosaurs are extinct, but they are extinct in which time period? So, you know the word Jurassic? So, basically you have a word Jurassic in our syllabus. I don't want to go deep at this point of time, in depth, I will be explaining it. So, how to remember this also, we will have a small technique, and at what time, what are the major components that you will get to see. This is what you are supposed to learn in the beginning. After that, whatever the topic that you are going to learn, make sure you apply that. When did the Big Bang theory happen? Before everything, before the origin of time, space, energy, matter. Before origin of all of this, that is where Big Bang happened. After the Big Bang only the concept of time came. The origin of matter took place. The space came out and the energy came out. From the tiny ball called singularity, right? So, now you will get to know about the major geological time scale in detail. After this, what are the topic that we are going to pick? It is clearly mentioned in your syllabus. Interior of the earth, Then line by line when you go, anyways, if I am giving notes, I will be dictating in the class. I will anyways do that. But I want you to rely upon this particular notes for your reference. What I expect from you is you make notes in one single page. The class that I teach today, all you need to do is read the notes. I will dictate the notes, I will give notes, I will give material also, so that you need not buy any additional books in the market. I will recommend 2 books that you are supposed to buy, right? At the end of the day, I want your entire class in one single page. Okay? Maybe if not on this side also, that should be there. For reference also, I will give you these short notes, but copy nahi karna hai. I am only giving it for your reference. Let's say you are done with all. On Saturdays, we will be going for the test. Monday to Friday, whatever you have learnt, you have to revise and write it on Saturday. Sometimes we will be in half of the syllabus. Let's say maybe we are discussing a topic and it came on to Saturday also. What do I do is I will take the test on Sunday, right? So mark, every day you are going to make 1 page, right? Roughly by the end of your syllabus, you should be having hardly 100 pages or 130 odd pages for you maximum. That 130 or 140 pages is what you are going to revise at least 20-30 times, right? At least I am telling you 20-30 times, and you will do it. I will make you do it, not to be worried. That is the day when you will get that 260-270 marks easily. Now you want 280-290. How to do that? I will also tell you what additional components you are supposed to pick up. There is something called mapping. You are supposed to do mapping to that, right? How good you should be at mapping? See, even if I tell where is Sangli, you have to take a pencil or a pen and put onto your India map that this is Sangli in Maharashtra with an error margin of hardly 2 mm or 3 mm, right? For that, if you broadly go through, how many of you have seen previous year questions? In paper 2, the first question is associated with, I know those of you are sitting here, you might be seeing this particular paper for the first time. Yes, how many of you are seeing this for the first time? See, in geography, paper 2, you have mapping. This mapping you cannot learn in a day or a week. This is an exercise which we will be doing on a daily basis. Every day, I will give you a list of 10 places. I will give you a map exactly what is given in the UPSC. Same map, you take some 50, 100 copies of it, keep it with you. And if suppose, if Rishikulaya river is there, you are supposed to mark this Rishikulaya river exactly on the given map of India. In the examination, you will be given a detachable map. On that particular map, this. Now, where is Rishikulaya river? See, you know that Rishikulaya river, it is there in Odisha. But which part of Odisha? From this is your Chilka lake. See, if I zoom in, you know that this is your Chilka lake. If I ask Chilka lake, instead of marking it here, if you mark it here, you will not get marks. You are supposed to mark at this particular place. Only then you will get marks. And this is a question which is asked for 20 marks. How many places? 10 places. Now 20 marks, 10 places, easy scorable area. No 20 mark question in any of the UPSC you can score 16. But this can give you that potential of scoring 16 marks. And look at the kind of places. In the exam you will get this paper. Okay? This is how question paper will be there. And then see, Rishikulaya river, Datar hills, Kekruma, Bailalu. How many of you have heard about Bailalu? Bailalu what? Mines? Nayyar. So, Darwars. So, these places, it's not easy for you. Trust me, by the end of second or third month itself, you would be in a position to do this exercise. Why? Because on the day 1, I will give you 10 particular places or 15 places, let us say 15 hills. What you are supposed to do is you are supposed to mark on this particular map, and then about each place I want you to write 3 sentences or 3 lines, at least 3 lines, right? Let us say Rishikulaya is there. Rishikulaya river is located in the Odisha, right? And it is also famous, the banks of these rivers and the nearby beaches are famous for olive ridley turtles and crocodiles. This is enough for your examiner. You just need to write 2 lines. Like that, if you write that, you will get 2 marks, right? So that is why mapping is important, and we will be doing this mapping on a daily basis. It is not like that I will give you a big dumping and list like that, no. We will be doing it in a very thorough manner, and if you have any atlas, let us say any atlas, that atlas first, second or third page when you open, there are some cross lines which is there. Anyone who has an atlas here? From tomorrow, everyone should get your own atlas. Which atlas you are supposed to pick up? Oxford TTK Study Today Publications Atlas, Oxford Atlas or Study Today Publications. It is in this atlas, it is not there. Now let me show you if I have the atlas here. Mm-hmm. Is the places are related to current affairs? Yes, current affairs. Places will come from current affairs. Okay? It will come from current affairs only. Majority of them will come from current affairs, and some may come from your general papers only. Okay, I don't have the atlas today, but tomorrow I will get and show you how this mapping need to be done. So in every, in each of this atlas, you will get to see one of the second or third pages where you will have crisscross lines. We will be drawing that lines and we will be learning. So what do we do? How do we learn? Is nothing but, if this is your India map, what do we do is we divide India into north to south, east to west, right? And then we will connect few more lines from important lines, and we will divide this as a triangle, and we will study this triangle first. Next we will go for this triangle, and some places, let us say this is Mangaluru, this is Bangalore, this is Chennai. If you open your atlas and see, they are always on the same line, right? So there is a line called Pathankot line. If I draw like this, what are the places on the Pathankot line? So you will also bring scale, okay? And you will also bring atlas. So every day we will be doing this. We will spend some 10 to 15 odd minutes of this particular class on the mapping whenever we get time, right? So like this, if you are going to do this for, let us say 1.5 to 2 months from now on, now think about the mapping in your prelims. How many questions come from mapping? At least 15 marks will be there from mapping applications and mapping, minimum, right? 15 marks only from mapping will be there. The world mapping and India mapping together. So that area you will be very much comfortable, right? Next. Now come to your notes once again. See, there was a time period in geography optional students do not get marks. 2015, 16, 17 they never got marks. The highest score was 250 somewhere around. You know why? Yeah, true. It's not lack of teachers. Basically the content what they are teaching is the same content. I mean, I don't blame the teachers as such, but the material is not updated. The books are the same, only the static books are there. So hardly 1 or 2 teachers who are really doing the qualitative teaching and giving the quality content which is relevant to the examination, that is there. That is a major problem. I think with that, this problem is resolved by 2 or 3 faculties who are there across India, right? I am assuring you quality, okay? Quality will be there, and you, at times you will feel difficult. I am again telling you, at times you will feel difficult, and because every time you are supposed to do same thing again and again, you will feel bored, right? That boring will give you rewards and results. Okay? Definitely I am telling you this subject, hard work is required in this subject, no doubt. Okay? Quality content you are supposed to read, right? If you don't read quality content, you won't get marks because the syllabus is very generic in paper 2. You think that geographical point of view, if you are not going to write, you won't get marks. So that's why you are supposed to learn the paper 1 part A first and then go to the part B and apply with the paper 2 and study accordingly, right? Okay. So I think with this the majority of the problem of notes will be resolved, right? So this is the major problem of geography optional. It really took a long time for me also sort this out. Okay? After taking reviews from, let's say, last year rankers who got 298, right, marks. What is that made difference for him to get 298? Banna Venkatesh, if you know, the top ranker of Telangana, the Andhra and Telangana, Telugu candidate, 15th rank he got. He is our geography optional student, studied in Hyderabad. Okay? Now, what made difference for him is he gives local examples. What are the local examples? He gives such local examples that if you know something about Secunderabad and that example is very much relevant to a topic in your exam, give that example, right? Let's say if I say growth centers, how many of you have heard about growth centers in Telangana? Are there any growth centers in Telangana? Where? No, growth center. In the name of growth center, if you just cross, let's say Mancherial is there, if you're aware of, on the way from Mancherial to Maharashtra, that area will have growth centers near Chandrapur, right? That is a local example. You are supposed to write those kind of examples. So from newspapers, whenever you are going to read, in weekly or every 15 days we will discuss current affairs. In that current affairs, I will be discussing about these local examples more. The more the local example, let's say turmeric, what is the place that you will remember? You got Nizamabad, but another famous place is Sangli. Sangli in Maharashtra, right? Maharashtra people will write Sangli, you guys will write Nizamabad because turmeric board is there. So you can also write your local examples. That is a kind of answers when you write, you will get good rewards, right? Pani Foundation is there, watershed management is there. What you will write? You will write about the Anna Hazare Relagaon Siddhi model, right? So I want you to do more and more local examples collection. We will be collecting roughly around 50 to 70 examples and we will be using them again. Let's say rainfall variability is there. If you go through the last 1 month rainfall data, the Valsad in Gujarat had a rainfall invariability, I mean so much of drastic change, 60 centimeters of rainfall in just a matter of 3 days. A rainfall which has to be given for the entire season was given in just 3 days, right? So this is one local example that you remembered. Now like that you collect and will map with the syllabus, right? That will give you a good idea. Initially it will be a bit difficult, but when we keep on doing it, it will be there on your fingertips, right? So I think the notes problem is resolved, right? Now roughly geomorphology alone, it has diagrams for you and these are realistic diagrams that can be drawn in the exam. It's not that something I have cut, copy, pasted from the textbook and then I kept it here so that it will be difficult. No, it is drawn in a realistic manner where you can draw it in the exams. Clear? And one more thing. So after every topic that is given in these notes, you will be given previous year questions. Plate tectonics theory is there. Now what are the questions asked in plate tectonics theory? Let's say in the last few years, last 5 years I have taken 2017, 19, 21 and 24, somewhere around you had one question, right? So if you have the clarity on that, if you are able to write these questions, that means you are in a good position with respect to optional. So all this is ready. In the next week you will get this materials in the form of physical copies to you, right? For online also copies will be sent to you to your home, right? Now same goes with paper 2 also, same goes with paper 1. Coming to the major aspect, that is, sir, what books to be studied? What books to be studied? Now I want you to buy one book, Savindra Singh Physical Geography. Don't buy Savindra Singh Geomorphology, Savindra Singh Climatology, Savindra Singh Oceanography, not required. Just buy one book, that is Savindra Singh Physical Geography. Now I don't expect you to read cover to cover. I'll tell you what chapters to be read, from where to where, which page you are supposed to read. ठीक है? And notes, see, whatever, my notes is the sacrosanct for you. If you want to read anything beyond, you complete my notes and then go outside, right? Next, another book which I want you to buy for human geographies, Majid Hussein's Human Geography book you will get. You keep it for reference, ठीक है? You just keep it for reference. Coming to, I'll give you options, anything. One is DR, Kuller, ठीक है? And the other one is these are only for reference. Okay, one more book. You will get a book for models. This is also by for chapter number 10 in paper 1. For chapter number 10 in paper 1, that is, or else chapter number 5 in human geography, for this you will get a book called Models, Theories and Laws, which is respect to the human geography. One book you will get. So this is one book where our mapping of the syllabus is there in that book, and it is the same book. Majid Hussain sir is a person from India who also used to teach for UPSC, but he is no longer there. Now his book was also recommended in foreign universities with respect to the models and theories. So this is a very respectable book. You can pick it up, this particular book. Now are you supposed to read all of these books? No, right? Now there are many books that you will get for human geography, especially Perspectives in Human Geography by R.D. Dixit. If you catch hold of that book, you will be lost. Why am I telling you will be lost is this, because there is no clear-cut index with respect to UPSC syllabus. There is endless of reading that is given in a complicated language. You cannot understand that in an easy manner, and whatever you are supposed to write in the exams, that is more than sufficient for the topics that I teach you, and you yourself will develop a perspective in the coming time periods, so you are capable enough to write in the examination. You need to learn about few geographers and their contributions and apply the total geography at the end, right? So these are the only things. Apart from that, one atlas that I would recommend. Oxford or Study Today TTK Publications Atlas. This is an atlas which I would recommend because it is made by our fellow officers itself, senior officers who are ex-UPSC, right? So this book is more relevant for us, geography optional candidates. I'll show you this atlas also. This one. Dr. Anshu, Prem Singh Meena IAS and Ajit Kumar. So this is the atlas and the latest edition is there. 5th edition is there, Study Today Atlas. It is given by TTK Publications. I think you can get online also, right? Why this atlas is because from this atlas it will be easy for us to learn mapping. The drawings that we are going to draw, right? It will teach you from easily, right? Apart from that, are you supposed to buy any books? No. I'll give you material, printed material you will get. In that printed material, whatever the material that is sufficient for your examination will be given, right? Please don't do a PhD on Savindra Singh. Okay? Some seniors will tell you to go and buy additional books. If at all, if you want to go, then go for Rupa Publications, Geography Made Simple. Okay? So majority of the candidates, they were struck with Geography Made Simple by Rupa Publications. It really made so simple that they forgot to add current affairs, updation is not there, the same old text content is there. So year by year faculty kept on recommending it, they kept on reading it, and when it comes to revisions, that book turned out to be bulky and whatever was made simple turned out to be difficult. I would say these are some of the books which made geography optional complicated. It is easy. If you are comfortable with that books, you go, but go for that book only after whatever I told you, read and then go. And another PDF I will give you, okay? And the actual cost of the book is roughly around 13,000 rupees, it will be there. Okay? Lutens, it is written by Lutens. So that book will teach you like something which is taught to a kid, 6th or 7th or 8th class kid. In such simple manner it will be written. Let's say there are some complicated topics which you may not understand. Example, humidity is there. For majority of the students, humidity is a topic which is complicated. Now this humidity is, you have different kinds of humidity, relative humidity, absolute humidity, there is wet bulb, there is heat bulb, right? So these concepts diagrammatically it is well represented, and I will be creating a consortium of drive in which few animations will be put in there, right? And those are not the collections from YouTube elsewhere, it's not them. They are exclusively made for geography optional to make your understanding easy. A big list of, almost a big list of roughly around 70 to 80, 2 to 3 minutes of each animation will be there with diagrams that can be replicated in the exam. That thing will be provided to you as a portal. From there, let's say you do not understand a topic, or maybe you are reading at 9 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. where I am not there to explain. Again, you need not go and revisit the entire class. That particular animation will help you to resolve your doubts. Topic by topic for the entire geomorphology I have given there, right? Topic by topic, need not worry at all. Exam relevant content, just to the point. Tomorrow I will get them and I will show you roughly around 60 odd small videos, 1 to 2 minutes videos. Let's say if I am talking about humidity, you may not understand. So I made those things to be visible on the screen, so it becomes easy for you, right? And this subjects needs imagination. Imagination, why? Because I am going to teach mostly in 2 dimension, but you are supposed to think in 3 dimension. That is the fundamental problem. A topic If you are not able to understand, it means you are not able to see that in your imagination in 3 dimensions, or else I may have failed in drawing it in the right manner. So 99% of the times my diagrams will be absolutely in 3-dimensional manners. Okay? See, the difference between 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions is this. While you are reading your text, you read it in 2 dimension, right? Whatever is there, let's say earth is there. Now, a person can imagine the earth as this, right? A person can also imagine the earth to be like this with its axis. A third person would imagine the earth I want your imagination to be like this, right? Let's say a river. This is a river, right? This is also a river. What is this? River in the mountains. This. Now you can imagine this in a little better manner. Yes. So if I have to show you floodplains, your floodplains will be right. So the problem is in geography, it is about how you visualize yourself, right? So this particular visualization will make your subject understanding easy. Yes, a river is moving. If I say river meanders means, look, a river can flow like this. Sometimes this is called a meandering river, right? Can I say this river can meander? No, sometimes floods will come here, right? So geography is, especially physical geography, is all about how you view. The problem is majority of the books do not have diagrams of this kind. They have either diagrams of this kind, or this, right? So what do we teachers do? We take up all the content and try to explain in this manner, right? Any of you who would have attended my GS classes, you would be knowing that I would try to make this subject simple, right? So we'll also be doing the entire optional in a simplified manner, right? And if you do not understand anything, I am always there in the ground floor. Daily 1 hour I'll open up the channel for geography optional students. You can come and sit with me if you have any doubts, right? Next, our classes will be there from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Okay? That is the minimum time. 2 hours is the minimum time. Sometimes can extend up to 15 minutes also or 20 minutes also. Be prepared till 4:30. 2 to 4:30 is the time. 2 to 4 is a mandatory time, and sometimes extension can be there. Be prepared for that, right? Next, now tell me if you have any doubts about the curriculum that we are going to follow. Tests, weekly test, or every 15th day you will have a test, or else let's say geomorphology is done, we will have a test on geomorphology. If climatology is done, we will have a test on climatology. If oceanography is done, test on oceanography, right? Before I go and discuss the syllabus in detail, if you have any doubts.
scoring subject is paper 1 also.
No, nothing like that. See, his question is that, sir, I said I'll spend equal amount of time on paper 1 and paper 2, but the most scoring subject is paper 1. No. So, you know Atik sir?
Yes, sir.
He scored somewhere around 160 odd marks in paper 1. Okay? I know another person who scored 170 marks in paper 2. Atik sir's optional is also geography, you know. So, but the other papers sir got very less marks. It's about, you should not focus on one single area. Both the papers are scorable, right? Let's say if Banna Venkatesh got 298, if you look into score, his paper 2 score is very great score. Why? Because he gave local examples, right? Both are scorable, but paper 2 you should not write like GS. You should write like a geographer with lot of examples. Okay? Paper 2, let's say agriculture is there. You need to have data. You need to have Wantunian model relating to that agriculture, right? If you are writing about population, you have theories and thinkers in our geography. Marx, right? Malthushian. You need to learn about that. Anyways, we'll learn in the models and theories and laws in human geography, then you'll get. We'll spend equal amount of time. That means I mean to say we spend on current affairs more. Your problem of GS current affairs also will be resolved. And one magazine that I'll recommend for you is Down to Earth. Okay? Apart from this, it is a magazine you will get on every 15th day. That means in a month you will have 2 magazines, right? So, especially for chapter number 5 of physical geography and agriculture related plus geography case studies, examples, you will get lot of examples from this. So, we will stick to only these sources, no nothing and new readings. So, down to earth also I will teach you in the class, right? So, every 15th day or so, if this down to earth comes, we will pick up down to earth and I will explain if what are the topics that are there which are relevant for our geography optional that I will discuss here, right? Clear? Any other questions that you have? Online? I will be waiting for. So, what about answer writing? In the initial stages, I don't want you to write anything, at least for completing my basics. My basics will take 15 days to 16 days, right? Why? Because I need to prepare you for this optional. For that, I have to complete some basics. Basics like the Big Bang theory, then the seasons, origin and evolution of the earth, along with that latitude, longitude, then the concept of easterlies, westerlies, pressure belts, a little about the plate tectonics theory and the basic theories. Once we are done with that basics, things will become easy for you. If you have done your GS geography, then we can start with answer writing. Answer writing we'll be doing some in the classes itself, right? I'll teach you how to write, not to be worried regarding the answer writing. We'll be doing tests also, we'll be doing answer writing also. I am more particular about answer writing, you all know, because whatever I am going to teach here, I want that to be used in the exam. Okay? And I won't teach you unnecessary things. If at all I feel that this is not important, it is outrightly not important for the exam, we'll be strictly out and outright focusing more on the exam oriented preparation, which is qualitative in nature, and we'll focus on only in those areas where marks will be more. Okay? If you're going and reading a one small chapter where the weightage is only 10 marks, should you have to spend 15 days on that? Not required, right? Even if you go and read, you'll get that 6 marks. If you don't read and write, you'll get 4 marks. So don't focus on that, focus on what is easy, low hanging fruits first, we'll be doing it, right? Now let us go and discuss the syllabus one by one chapter. Open your syllabus. Any doubts in the books? Any doubts in the books? Any other doubts that you have? Feel free to ask.
Sir, what's the timeline?
Timeline 5 months. Today is 9th, 11th of August. December 25th we'll wind it up, before December 25th. Yeah. Yes? So by New Year you will be free. 100% you can focus on your prelims. Right? What are we are going to do? Again, I am going to tell you 100% of the coverage of the syllabus. It's not that you read it by yourself, not like that. I'll be teaching everything, number 1. If not, notes for every topic, notes will be given. Number 3, we'll be writing answers, we'll be writing tests, right? And we'll be doing current affairs regarding the optionals also. All this in the 5 months, right? August, we have September, October, November, December. Hopefully, let's say if we are extending ourselves into little more discussions, by Jan 14th is the last date. Sankranti is there. Before that, I'll wind it up. Okay? Because I understand the value of your time, right? See, for scoring in optional, what you are supposed to do is you should have good notes. Read that notes multiple times, and you should have written at least, let's say, 400-500 answers. Okay? 400-500 answers I am telling you. Let's say that from now on till the month of January, if you broadly look into how many months you have, 5 months. August is 8th month and December is 12th month, so 5 odd months. Every day if you are writing 5 into 3, 150 days. 30 days, 150 days you have. Even if you write 2 answers a day, you will be writing somewhere around 300 answers. Yes? Let's say you are not writing anything on the weekend, I will give you test. Even if you write that weekend test, roughly around 150 answers you will be writing, right? So, but I want you to write somewhere around 300 to 400 answers. That we will do it, not to be worried. In the class, in my previous batch, if you go through someone who has access, that how many answers I wrote myself in the classroom, you know it. Okay? We focus more on that, not to be worried in that. December last is my target, right? Now come to the syllabus. I'll be doing some mapping here. These are the names of the chapters. There are 20 chapters, right? In this 20 chapters, this will take a lot of time. Why? Conceptual. Only if you understand these chapters, you will be able to apply these concepts into this part of the area, and also these concepts into here, right? So the base of entire geography lies in these 4. Clear? Environmental geography, application based, right? Questions will come in 3 forms for us. 1, very direct question, very basic question. Little advanced questions and application based. Let's say, for example, in climatology, if you pick up this particular climatology, you will first learn about atmosphere, composition of the atmosphere, then air and wind. These are considered to be the very, very basic, right? How air is formed and what is the composition of the air, how and why the air moves. These are basics. Now you apply this to the concepts of easterlies and westerlies, right? That becomes little advanced geography. Now what is applied geography? Applied geography is when you use these winds, jet streams, and apply it to the concept of climate change, right? That is called applied concepts. Now how much percentage of the questions are applied in nature in this part of area? 30% is applied in this. That means 70% of this is static. Roughly 30% is applied. Okay? And that too, majority of these applications comes from this area. Right? Clear? So, whatever you are going to learn in the class is basically static. I will give you the areas where you can apply. So, we need to fetch marks in this also. Let us say El Nino is there. Impacts of El Nino? Floods and droughts are quite common. Next, how is the government preparing for El Nino this year? So, it is asking not to grow rice and wheat, grow millets, right? Inflation adjustments will be there, right? So, you need to think from different perspectives. That is called applied. In fact, El Nino as a concept itself is applied, right? What are the basics in this? Why troposphere is called the most important layer of all the layers? Why? This is a static question, very basic question, right? Let us say if I make another question, explain the concept of plate tectonics, next, and its implications on the endogenetic and exogenetic forces, or else exogenetic and endogenetic forces result in the formation of various landforms. Elucidate. This is kind of applied component ho gaya. But the previous question which I made is why troposphere is the most important layer of all the layers? Direct question. Now, if you go and see last 2 years before, this question was asked for 10 marks in geography optional. Why troposphere is the most important layer of all the layers? You will get 3 or 4 points, everyone will get, but you will get marks when you write some 7-8 points. Why? You need to search points from our syllabus itself. Always remember this syllabus chapters. Generate points from here. What do you mean by geographical perspective writing is, let us say troposphere is the most important layer. Why? Pick up 1 point from here, 1 point from here, 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 here. Will you get 5 points? Right? The major landforms. Okay? First degree, second degree or third degree. Okay? I will tell you what are 1, 2, 3 degree landforms are present in this part of the layer, which will give diversified topography and diversified climate for the survival of varied species. Climatology. Troposphere, the concept of temperature inversion happens. Majority of the homogeneous air which is required for the biosphere survival, such as biosphere includes hydrosphere, lithosphere and atmosphere, is in this. Components of ocean, all the oceans which required for the majority of the climatic condition formations or the weather phenomena such as rainfall, thunderstorm, lightning, right? Next, environmental geography, you can write about the species and the biodiversity. So, you already got 5 points here. Now, how to apply to this part of the area? Think. Can you generate from the economic perspective? Yes. Population and settlement. Planning can be last, this is the last. So, can you generate points in this? Yes. So, whenever you are struck, please make sure to remember our syllabus. Our syllabus will give you good points. Now that this is your first class, in today's class you are able to understand that these are the number of chapters. Oh, I need to generate 1 point from agriculture, 1 point from industry and elsewhere. But when you go and look into the syllabus in detail and remember the syllabus, you would be having lot more point generation methods. Okay? we will be focusing on that. I will be teaching you some aspects where how to write an answer even when you don't know the content in geography, especially in paper 2 can be done, right? Now let's map this. You can all write, see if you have your papers with you, what you do is, you see anyways we are going to do all of these things in detail. Okay? This has current affairs applications. Now come to the perspectives in human geography, we will be doing this particular chapter later, little later after I teach you the basics. Now come here, you are going to study about population and settlement geography here. Can you see population and settlement geography here? This is settlement geography. Do you see settlement? So what I will do is, I will call this as part B, this as part A. In the part B, chapter number 3, population and settlement, we will be doing simultaneously with this chapter, right? Clear? Now take 2 minutes of your time to 3 minutes of your time and read the syllabus of both of these chapters. Take your time. If you have read, let me know. Done? Do you see similarities? Yes, especially for this settlement geography and settlements. So here you are going to study with respect to world perspective. Okay? You are going to study with respect to world perspective, and here you are going to study with respect to India. That is the only difference. And that is the reason why your syllabus looks lengthy. It is the repetition of same but written in different context. So number 1, that means we will be doing these two simultaneously, right? Now come to chapter number 4 in part B, regional planning, and please go to paper 2 chapter number 8. Read the syllabus of both. First, paper 1 chapter number 4 of part B. Part A has 5 chapters, part B has 5 chapters. Please read this regional planning syllabus. And then read chapter 8. They are the same, right? They say, what do you mean by a concept of a region? What is a region? How do you call a region? You heard the term about regionalism. What is regionalism? The feeling and the association and more connection to the locality as compared to the nationality. Collective commons, but is it seen in the positive terms or in the negative terms? It depends. So we go into the depths of what is a region, the concept of a region, what is the concept of growth pole, how the growth happens. Let's say Hyderabad is a circular city. I call many times it's a circular city. A circular city do not require to have a high-rise buildings. Okay? Yeah, outer ring road. Do you have outer ring road for Bombay? Why? Basically on one side it has coast. Do you have outer ring road for Chennai? No. Which other city has the scope of ring road so that the city can expand outward? Delhi is choked. Firstly, Delhi lives in one of the earthquake seismic zones of 3 to 4 range. Okay? But Hyderabad do not have it. Right? Bangalore also no, it's not a circular city. So a circular city do not require high-rise buildings. Cities like Bombay require. Why? It's the city cannot spread. It has to spread in unidirectional. You go to US and see majority of the cities which are lying next to the coast, they build tall buildings. Do we require these tall buildings? It's just that if poor infrastructure is there, these kind of buildings will come up. Okay? You need a proper infrastructure. Let's say you go to Bombay. Bombay is very costly city. Why is it so costly? Infrastructure is poor, very poor. Why? Don't think that Bombay means, oh, it's a financial district or financial hub of India, financial capital. No, it's not. See, basically, definitely it is a financial capital in terms of the total revenue it is giving. But when it comes to infrastructure, it has one of the poorest infrastructure. See, basically you are given a choice to stay near to your home and near to your office. Let's say your office is here and your home is roughly around 40 kilometers away. Would you like to live in such a kind of situation, traveling 40 kilometers every day? No. You would always like to live near to your workplace so that the travel will be less. So in Bombay, if you have to live next to your office, the house rents are extremely high. The salaries cannot afford. So that's why they choose to go out of the city and live there, right? If this transportation is not good, we call this transportation as infrastructure. If this is not good, so people will spend more on their house rents. But you go to Delhi. Delhi has metro connections. People will be traveling from one corner of the Delhi to the other corner of Delhi on a daily basis because metro connectivity is there, connecting 70 to 80 kilometers in just a matter of less than 50 minutes. So that is what is a good infrastructure built. Delhi has good infrastructure. Bombay do not have. Hyderabad is building it. So while we build it as a concept of a region for a development, how do we have to see? Let's say Andhra Pradesh built a new capital, right? Amaravati. So like this, there are capitals which were built earlier also, like Gandhinagar, capital city of Gujarat, right? Dispur, Assam. Capital of Assam is not Guwahati, okay? It's Dispur. So Dispur is a planned city. Assam, the capital is a planned city. Amaravati, our new capital, is a planned city. Like that, you go to Chandigarh, it was a planned city. Now look at, of all these planned cities, which is the best planned city that you get to see? It's no doubt Chandigarh, which is well administered. But Chandigarh is choking now. So because it was a city which was only planned for 2,50,000, initially for 50,000 population, later they increased it to 2,50,000 and then to 5 lakh. That is how they planned. Lee Corbusier planned it. The buildings, the roads, the infrastructure, the resources, natural resources and so. But today the population of Chandigarh is 14.5 lakh standing, right? So the city do not have the potential anymore to hold, right? Let's say we are building Amaravati today as a concept of a region, the concept of a city, the growth poles, and so we look into these two chapters, especially regional planning, regional development and planning in long term. how the planning happened in India. First 5 years, second 5 year, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and today the 5-year plan stopped. We went in for Niti Aayog and we say that aspirational districts are there. But think of here we look into the concept of cities which are bigger than the biggest cities. Let's say you're building Amaravati. How are you planning to build Amaravati? Is it an inclusive city? Is it a city which is going to drive the growth? Or is it a city which is going to attract tourism? What kind of a city you want to build? You go and check the ads. Habibi, how Dubai? How many of you have seen this ad? Shah Rukh Khan says it. They build big buildings. Why? What is the need for this Shah Rukh Khan to make ads from India, one of the stalwarts in acting, Amitabh Bachchan, and these big shots are used in asking them to come to Dubai? Why? Because in the next 50 years the concept of oil will be gone. So they are going to build a growth centers in that part of the area with tourism driven, right? So that's why they are making ads. So India is one of the largest populated country. So for them the nearest luxury city, if it is there, instead of traveling from Hyderabad to Delhi, you can fly from Hyderabad to Dubai in just 2.5 hours. You know that? Maximum 3 hours, right? People, instead of flying from the Trivandrum to Kerala, they'll fly from Trivandrum to Dubai because it's 2 hours. Labor is cheap, Indian labor is cheap, tourism they are developing. Same labor goes and builds it. Little rich people in India will go and visit in the name of tourism, no tax. So this is a kind of growth which they are going to create in absence. So we need to look from different angles. In India, we learn the history first and then we look two things. One is development and the other one is planning. So your syllabus is well defined there. Each line of the syllabus, we have to bring in these kind of examples from the current affairs. Is there any other cities which you know they were planned? Indore is planned city, right? Agreed. Next. What is Noida? New Okla Industrial Development Authority. It became a city, right? So basically there is a small village called Okla, right? Later they wanted to create the sectors and an industrial development authority they wanted to make, and today it turned out to be a very big city. New Okla Industrial Development Authority. It is a planned city. Gurgaon to an extent is planned city. If you heard sectors, wherever you hear sectors, they are planned cities. So they are planned for different purposes. So we need to plan for our future. These things, these two chapters deal with mostly that part of the area. Now come to the economic geography. First, read the chapters of economic geography will have agriculture in it. See, your economic geography, we are supposed to link it to agriculture and also here, these three chapters we are supposed to link. Read World Economic Development, Measurement and Problems. How do we measure development? No. How do you measure development? Human Development Index. Heard of it? Right? So it is asking about measurement and problems. So we measure Human Development Index. How is it calculated? You need to know. Next, happiness index is there. You need to know. There is GDP also. GDP do not calculate your happiness. GDP do not calculate your development. Right? But Human Development Index takes 4 parameters majorly. Okay? Birth rate and death rate. Right? Later, your literacy, education, life expectancy. Right? If you are living in Bhutan, your life expectancy is more. If you are living in Uttar Pradesh, your life expectancy will be less. You live in Kerala, you live little more in that Western Ghats. So it's about 4 things. A man to think while you are born, it is the birth rate. When you are dead, it's death rate. And your potential to earn money ठीक है, and the other aspects are about your health indicators, IMR, MMR, these indicators will be studying in that manner. Next one is world resources and their distribution. Resources and their distribution in terms of world, but in terms of India we will be looking here. Next topic is energy crisis, the limits to growth. It is written here. World agriculture, typology of agricultural regions, agriculture inputs and productivity, food and nutritional problems, food security, famine causes, effects and remedies. So that means you have agricultural topics, right, resources topics, and come to industry. It talks about the industries, world industries, locational patterns and problems and patterns of world trade. So your economic geography, we have to study it simultaneously. That means while I teach you this, we'll be completing 4 chapters together, and I'll give you notes for 4 different chapters, right? So chapter 3 of human geography coincides with settlements, right? Next, chapter 4 coincide with chapter 8, right? Now come to 5th chapter. 5th chapter, system analysis in human geography. First line of the syllabus. This will coincide with chapter 1 of human geography. Next topic, Malthusian, Marxian and demographic transition. What is this? These are theories for chapter number 3. See, each chapter will have a theory. Remember, some laws will be there. Remember this. Look, our syllabus will have some laws, some rules, some regulations and some theories, right? I hope everyone knows what is a theory for population, Malthusian theory. Ever heard of this? Anyone who did not hear about him? Malthus? Marx? See, basically our resources are limited, but our population is growing exponentially. So Malthus says, to maintain this balance, sometimes earth will give tsunamis and it will take care of itself. Sometimes the earth will give earthquakes. In that earthquakes few people die. He will say these are positive checks, right? So he has some positive checks. He has some negative checks. So that theory we are going to apply it to population. Marxian theory of population is also there. Now come to central place theories and Christoller and Losch model. Central place theory of Christoller and Losch. What is central place theory? Basically, these theories, in this you have regional planning and this population settlement will have some theories. Central place in the sense how a city develops, from where. Ever thought of it? How many are from cities, born and brought up in cities? So in your city, where did the growth of the city start? Old city, industries. See, basically we have a theory which says that how cities develop. So multiple theories are there in that. We need to know about 3 different people. They say about the how the cities develop. I will give you in terms of a broader understanding, in simpler terms, to make you acquaint about this. Let us say that if suppose you go to Connaught Place, CP in Delhi, everything you have is business districts there. I mean, all the business takes place, buying and selling, right? Let us say instead of that buying and selling, if industries are there, who will be staying near to the industries? Labor. And would you like with the rich be liking to stay near to the industries? They will be staying far away from industries. Now let us go back to 150 years from now. Do you have railways fully developed? Do you have cars fully developed? What is your mode of transportation? Right? So let us say that this is the place of an industry, maybe a small scale industry that is there, right? around this industry, you generally have pollution. So you have pollution. So because of that, most of the rich people would not like to live here, right? Only the labor who is there would like to live here. Then little outer you go, let's say distance is 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, from here another 5 kilometers you go. This is where the middle class lives, who actually can afford to travel, whatever the means and ways. Earlier buying a scooter was rich, car was rich, having a private vehicle is rich. So only the upper middle class would like to afford. When you go far away, there is one place where the rich would like to live, which is distant from all of this pollution, and this is your rich class, the owner class. Okay? So this is actually, we call it as old city. Okay? Every city has an old city. No. Industries in the sense not manufacturing, it can be buying and selling, market. Okay? Sometimes this can be industries, sometimes this can be market, sometimes it can be exchange, right? But the rich class would like to move far away. Why? Because they can afford to make their own transportation, right? No. I'll give you real time examples for that.
Now this is the plan is now Telangana is following, sir.
Which plan?
Cure.
Cure is different here. Cure program is basically, earlier we had one municipal corporation for Hyderabad. Now 3 municipal corporations are there, right? 74th amendment will give you the rights for municipal corporation. Now every municipal corporation is devoluted by some powers to them, and that depends on the state. State will decide whether it want to devolve this power to this municipal corporation or not. Let's say in the case of panchayats, all the powers are not devoluted to the panchayats. Some are kept with the state itself, like that. So there are 3 different municipal corporations. There need to be commonality among all of that. That's why this cure is being bought, which is monitored by the little central authority in the state. So cure is completely different. I'll discuss that cure concepts when we come there, but I really appreciate because you can now relate cure with these 2, right? Hydra is there. Where will you? Contemporary issues is for Hydra. Land reforms is there. Hydra can be written in land reforms, like that. So here theories, there will be theories. In that, whatever the theories and laws which are mentioned here, they are subjected to one chapter. I mean, in this roughly 10 odd theories are there. Each chapter will have a theory. Let's say for population, Malthus is there. Malthus said there are some positive checks, there are some negative checks. What are positive checks? Tsunamis, natural disasters are positive checks that will balance the exponential growth of the population, right? So it means and ways the nature will adapt to itself. But Marx has a different perspective. Marx's theory of population is completely different. Okay? That we'll discuss. Little idealistic principle it is, which can never be existed in that manner, right? So you come to the theory of central place theory of Christoller and Losch. Next, Perrox and Baudeville. Wantunian model of agriculture. Wantunian model of agriculture is, see, here the Wantunian model of agriculture is applied to agriculture. Where should the dairy industries be located? Okay? Should it be located near to the city or far away from the city? Why far away? Dairy industry, मैंने पूछा था, not the cattle. हाँ, have you ever seen any of your milk factories outskirts of the city? You go to any districts, ठीक है, cooperatives and all, they are located just outskirts of the city because it is perishable thing. They will not like to move away, far away and spend more on the transportation. They would like to stay just outskirts. ठीक है? Cooperatives, let's say Anand Milk Union Limited is there. What is it called? Anand Milk Union Limited, Amul, the biggest cooperative society in terms of farming. So Amul became a brand, but it is actually Anand Milk Union Limited, which is located in Gujarat, right? So like that, you have lot of cooperatives which are developed, but we need to go back to the old times, how the agriculture as a model developed, right? So that talks about this Wantunian model of agriculture, which is there in your syllabus. Next is Weber's model of industrial location. Now this Weber's model of industrial location is for industry. It talks about where should the industries be located. If you have an iron industry steel plant, would you be locating it near to the raw material or far away from the raw material or near to the market? Near to the market or raw material? How many say market? Okay, everyone is smart. Yes, you have to locate near to the raw material. A semiconductor industry, wherever the good connectivity, near to the market, right? Textile, climate will decide textile, but now we have humidifiers and so this theory will teach you with respect to industry, where should the industries be located, right? That is Weber's model of industrial location. He has some formulas also. I mean, where should, if two different raw materials are there, where should my industry be located? And real time examples will be there. We have to draw some diagrams also. Let's say for this particular example, every time in the mains class also I have shown. See, the first industry in India, what is it? Yes, Tata, which steel plant? Jamshedpur. Okay, Tata Jamshedpur. So this is Jamshedpur. Basically in Jamshedpur, it is a small village where the river Subarnareka and Kharkoi, okay, Kharkoi river both come and meet. So plenty of water in this part of the area. So Tata choose this area. Apart from that, raw material are required for making steel plant. What are the raw materials? Iron ore is required. Iron ore is of two types, hematite and magnetite. So good amount of hematite ore is there, where near Bir Mitrapur, which is roughly Pomposh. It is 100 kilometers from this area. Okay? Next, you need coal also, koila. To burn that iron ore, you need coal. So coal is also located 100 kilometers from here, right? Now you need railway tracks. Railway tracks are required because from Bombay, if you look into Kolkata, connections are there, and from Delhi to Kolkata, connections are there. So transportation they have led. Then you need limestones. Limestone is also located here. So this turned out to be, see, raw material 1 coal, raw material 2 iron ore, raw material 3 limestone. Next, other factors are what? Transportation is required. So now Kolkata is some few hundreds of 500 kilometers away. Let's say 500 kilometers away. Who will buy your steel? Mostly people in the cities to construct, right? Bombay is also far away. Delhi is also far away. Where did he locate his industry? Near to the raw material. This is also 80 kilometers, 80 kilometers, 80 kilometers. So Weber's industrial locational model clearly, whatever the theory that he gave, it can be applied here. So 3 raw materials. Basically, you will be locating nearest a trijunctional point of these raw materials, and you will export in these trains the final iron. So we first study the theory, which kind of industries to be located near to the market, which kind of industries should be located near to the industries. Like that, good number of industries are there. His methodology, his calculation, we need to apply it to the modern day. Or 2 or 3 examples we need to look into, then our job is done and understood. The questions will be outright. See, you will be most lucky if the questions come from this part of the area, and one 20 marker question will be there from this. See, in optional 10, 15, 20, 3 kinds of questions will be there. In your GS it is 10 and 15, right? But in optional 10, 15 and 20, right? So 8 questions are there. You are supposed to attempt 5. right? Question number 1 and question number 5 are compulsory. I hope everyone knows this. If not, please go and check your optional question paper once, right? Next comes your Rostov's model of stages of the growth. So this is part of your economic geography. Stages of growth means for a country or a state to be converted into a developed, what are the steps that has to be taken? That is what it is discussed. And heartland and rimland theories and laws of international boundaries. See, this laws of international boundaries we have already discussed in GS, but again I will teach you here. It is nothing but territorial water, contiguous water and exclusive economic zone. So in this current affairs, there is one Afanasi Nikitin seamount and India is also going for Samudra Manthan. We wanted to, the scheme is out, we wanted to explore the deep ocean, right? We wanted to send the man to the space and the man to the deep ocean and explore the mines. So 100% question will be there in this part of the area. And one more is heartland and rimland theories. So this is geopolitical theory. It is a theory which tries to tell us the world once believed if the heart, whoever has the control on the heart, they will hold the control of the world. But what is that heart? What is the heart of the world? No, it's a place. Someone said it, it's nearby. Not USA. Yeah, nearby, Russia, basically. Whoever holds the ground of the heart, heartland. Heartland means we thought that earlier that whoever will hold the control of this particular part of the world, that is heartland, they thought that they would be holding the entire control of the world. But little later that turned out to be false. So heartland theory and rimland theory, it was given by Mackander and Spikeman. These two people gave this theory. They say that, see, this is the heart of the world. Whoever hold the control of this heart, heart means north of Afghanistan, Central Asia and this, basically the erstwhile USSR. Okay? If you have the control, you will have the control of the world. But the new theory is rimland. What is rim? But what are those places? This is the rim. So in this rim, India plays a vital role, right? So the world is now looking out for rimland control. So you see, everyone wants to have a control over this rim. Strait of Hormuz, right? Bab el-Mandab Strait, right? So if you have the control over this, will you control the trade world? So US is wanting to have a control, Iran is wanting to have a control, and here lot of hijacks as well as the ships, pirates are there, right? So shifting of longitudes, we will say, basically earlier the pirates used to be somewhere here near to the India, but this has shifted the longitudes towards the west. Right? We will learn from current affairs in this. Shifting of longitudes has taken place. So basically, don't think that geography optional is all about geomorphology, climatology, oceanography. No. Geomorphology, climatology, oceanography weightage is how much you know? See, 250 marks is there in one paper. How many chapters? 10 chapters. If you open previous year questions and see, each chapter's weightage is 50 marks. Okay? Each chapter's weightage is roughly around 50 marks. And there are chapters, even if you don't read and go, you can still play safe. Okay? Those chapters I will not tell now, but after teaching the entire geography, I will tell you where you have to focus less. There are chapters you need not focus much, but still write, because you will be given option, right? you look into this question papers, see, I want you to prepare for everything and go, but it doesn't mean that you'll neglect and then go. You read everything, but you can give less focus on one or the other area. So if this is your first question, I know many of you are seeing this for the first time. In the optional, the first question is compulsory, you cannot skip. And in the first question, there will be questions from all 5 chapters. Look at the question. Explain the causes of glacial lake outburst flood. This is from geomorphology. What is solifluction? What are its impacts? Again, geomorphology question is there. Just a minute. C is also geomorphology. D, explain the relationship between air masses and local winds. Next, what are the fundamental differences among ocean waves and ocean currents and tides? Yes. So this is compulsory question. You are lucky that most of the questions are from geomorphology. In this section A, you will have most of the questions will be there from all the chapters. Now this is compulsory question. Now second, rest of the questions, second, third, fourth, you are supposed to write any 2. Okay. See, total it is like this. You will have section A and section B. Section B will have 4 questions, section A will have 4 questions. First question and 5th question is compulsory, and you are supposed to write at least another question from one of the sections, right? Let's say you are writing question number 6 and 2 and 3. Total 5 questions you are supposed to write. That means 5 5 is 250. In that, you see, in this part of the area there is no environmental geography, but examiner will try to trap you sometimes by giving mandatory environmental geography questions in one of these 2 questions. So mostly biogeography is one area where you can actually focus less on few topics, because those topics are not asked, and you go back to 10 to 12 years of questions, there is not even a single question on the origin and evolution of the earth, the time scale, geological time scale or so. So first 1 week will focus on mapping. First I want you to know which countries are present in which part of the area, and the physical mapping will be looking into. How many of you have attended mapping sessions earlier? Only one. So please bring all your atlas from tomorrow. I'll be showing you some basic mapping, because when I talk about the Hercynian, Caledonian mountains and so, you should not be surprised after 10-15 days. So 3 or 4 days we will be doing mapping and some basic concepts from now on. After that, from the next Monday onwards, we will be jumping deep dive into all the conceptual area, right? So we have sufficient time. 5 months is a very good time for me. It's more than sufficient time for me. Notes, I'm already giving it to you earlier itself. Be ahead of me. Okay? Be ahead of me. 50% of the time always goes for notes. That's why instead of teaching the optional in 4.5 months, it will go for 6.5 to 7 months. I have resolved the problem first itself. You make short notes in the class itself, right? Any additional topics you want me to pick up, I will pick up, not to be worried at all. Now we have seen the syllabus also. Syllabus, it is not rocket science, it is very simple syllabus. Now why students find this optional difficult, you know? Books. There is no single book that is going to help you. Chalo, you read this book, this optional is done. And teachers are not upgraded. I am openly telling, only 1 or 2 teachers who are doing justice to this in the entire India. Current affairs are not taught. And then same thing, whatever you have read, you have to apply, whatever you have read, you are writing, whatever you have read, you are writing. Paper 2 is full of dynamism. Paper 2 is full of current affairs. And this current affairs, if you are reading it, it is a kind of current affairs, you need to collect examples. It's not that next year it is going to change. Our geography current affairs are decadal current affairs. Means for a city to grow, it will take many years, right? We collect that example. Now for a population to change, it will take 10 years, right? So our examples are not this year examples or yesterday's examples. Our examples are age-old examples. We'll talk about the Assam, Dispur, we'll talk about the Gandhi Nagar as a development. You'll talk about Panchkula, planned city. Mohali is a planned city. Chandigarh is a planned city. Yes. Amaravati is a planned city. Is there future city is going to be a planned city? Yes or no? So you need to just recall from the current affairs. What kind of intentions are behind each city? Future city is meant for growth. Okay. Amaravati is meant for, it's a capital city, but what is it primarily meant for? A sustainable city, right? It is not meant for growth. It is a sustainable city which wants to attract people, but future city wants to attract investment, right? CES is meant for investment. Let's say you go to financial district in the case of Hyderabad, Gachibowli here, okay? That is meant for investment, and there are CES next to it, special economic zones. But where is the first CES in the world? Who brought the concept of CES, special economic zones, where you come and invest your industry here, then I'll give you incentives. I won't take tax from you for 7 to 10 years. Which country came up with this model? China. Okay? China CES is there. So where did we implement in India that concept first? So we'll be learning about these things in detail. So like that, do you have any CES known? Any CES that you are aware of? Special economic zones? Ocean coastlines. 90% of the ports in India are in CES. You go to the biotech city here, what is that? Genome Valley, Hyderabad. How many of you are aware? Genome Valley. Genome Valley is a special economic zone. Okay? Lot many things you might have been there, but you did not witness it. Gachibowli, north of Gachibowli you go. So little south of Gachibowli you go. Special economic zones, right? So you eat the chocolate Mars. How many of you ate Mars chocolate? Now it is also located on the special economic zones. All the IT industries which are there, your all IT industries, they are in CES. So basically you open up a special economic zone where you ask the industries to come and invest here. When you invest here, I will not take taxes from you for some time. Sri City. How many of you have heard about this? Sri City. Where is it? Andhra Pradesh. Which factories are located? Famous factory. Kia cars. In that 123 industries are there now, right? You go to northern part of India, Neemrana. Ever heard of this place? Neemrana. From Delhi to Rajasthan while you are going, in the midway you have a city called Neemrana, where the Japanese have come and invested there. So the best Japanese food you will get there, right? Local people speak Japanese there. So it's about when such kind of cultures are coming towards India, now local people speaking Japanese, it is like little tradition and great traditions. Means, so you go to Gujarat, during the time of Navaratri, even KFC will not sell chicken. You know that? McDonald's will not sell chicken. Why? They are adapting to the local traditions. There are little traditions and there are great traditions. So you need to learn about these traditions, what is little tradition, what is great tradition, how they will change. So our majority of the syllabus application part is in this, in India, right? And here this is conceptual, this is theoretical, right? So we have a mixture of three things: physical geography conceptual, we apply it to paper 2. Next, we are going to learn the concepts with respect to world here, and we are going to apply it to paper 2. Suppose if you missed classes here, will you able to write this? No. If you miss classes here, will you able to write this? No. So that's why my humble request is, if you are sitting for geography optional, no missing classes for the next 50 days. ठीक है? चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, you sit back home and watch the classes again. ठीक है? You should not miss the classes, because cascading hai na, this is having a linkage with this, these two are having a linkage with this. So our paper 2 will get completed fast. It will not take more than a matter of 1.5 months. 45 days is the maximum time for paper 2 to 50 days. Why? Because we will be dealing majority of them in this. We need to collect examples for each. Clear? This is what you are supposed to know about your optional. Good optional, 100% sure I am, very very good optional, but you need to work hard, right? Rewarding hai. Why students don't get marks is they are reading the same content which is available in the market. So you should rely upon the notes that I am giving and the material that I am giving plus the current affairs discussions that we are going to take up. So students have scored in the previous batches 298, 310, 312 also, right, from my very own classrooms, and students have also scored including both the papers 198, okay, 210 also. Why? I know both the candidates. It's just that they do not attend the classes. They say that मैं online attend करूँगा आजकल. उसके बाद एक लंबा छुट्टी आता है, दसरा छुट्टी will be there, then you will go. Then comes the Sankranti. So these things will be there. So please make sure do not miss the classes. That is the only sin you will be doing for geography. If you attend the classes, this syllabus will be easy. Around roughly 250 marks in GS can be covered. Prelims, it's an advantage. Mains, anyways, you will be writing the GS components. Whatever you learn here, you will do agriculture components and all. You learn at very depth and detail there, right? So please try to complete the syllabus first and revise multiple times. Don't try to run behind and do perfection. See, endless landforms are there, hundreds of landforms. Should you have to go and read about hundreds of landforms or those which are given in NCERT first NCERT, right? Next, don't run behind that nitty-gritty of the small syllabus line, right? We will tell you where you are supposed to focus, right? So don't run behind, again I am telling you, small things in the syllabus. There are areas where no questions are asked. You spend a lot of time in understanding the geological time scale. A geological time scale is not meant to be written, it is meant to be given as reference. So you learn it in the same way, no? But students, what do? Is they sit on geological time scale for 10 days. I have seen faculties teaching geological time scale for 5 days, 4 days. What to do with that? Are you going to do a PhD on that? No. Should we have to read for 4-5 days on the origin and evolution? No. There are 5 theories, Jean and Jeffrey model and some models, not required much. If at all a question is asked, the first priority will be on Big Bang theory and a couple of other theories. We'll focus on them, right? Material I'll only give you, you need not buy anything. All I recommend is pick up Atlas, Savindra Singh book from the market, and Principles of this Majid Hussein's Models and Theories book. I'll also show you that book. It will be available in every store, Models and Theories, only for reference, right? Same, Majid Hussein's Indian Geography or D.R. Kuller's Indian Geography, right? Plus map, I'll give you a sample map for everyone. You can go and take the printout, keep some 100 copies with you, right? Atlas, TTK, Atlas I would recommend. That's it. Beyond that, I won't require anything from you. And all these notes, we have sent it for the print. You will be getting in the form of small booklets, each of this chapter, right? Forehand you will get. And don't think that the topics that I am going to give you, if you read it by your own, you will understand. No, it's not like that. I will give you the context, and one more thing, see here, my notes will have this component. Suppose on the right side you have space given. It is for current affairs and value addition. Basically, why I left this space is you are supposed to add examples to each of this. the more the examples that you add and the more the current affairs you bring in there, your material will become more stronger. Just read it multiple times and revise it multiple times. Things will do wonders for you, right? This is what we are going to do in our optional classes. If you have any more doubts, you can ask. Come with Atlas tomorrow. I'll first brush up the world map and few maps of India, and so it will take 1 to 2 days, and then we'll start the concepts, right? No missing classes at any cost. If at all you miss, go back and watch it online, right? Any other questions?
So what are the classes we can skip in the GS, sir?
Yeah, GS you can. Say suppose if you are attending my optional classes, in GS geography you can skip that. 100% will cover in the optional. 100% of GS will be there in. Anything that you want to ask? Online, anything that you want to ask? Is the pedagogy clear? Whatever I teach, you'll go home and make the short notes. Okay, I'll give you time for that. I know you have a GS class, you'll also have optional class. You have to manage both. Don't give me that reasons. Every ranker managed. You will also learn to manage. Okay? All I ask you is short notes. Done? We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.